welcome back once again. We are back with Visti once again with the Dasha Chidra part, and it just gets interesting from here. So, Visti, what are we in the last part? Please do, if you've not watched the last part, please do watch it, because then you will be able to get the essence of where we are going to start. This is a continuum of the last part. So, Vishnu, in the last part, we considered the remedy. We considered the what happens if the dasha chidra, the antardasha, is not the last antardasha, is not in the right place. We did all that. So, how would we take it? And we did the mantra. The best part was we did the remedies also. How do we now move on to the next segment?
So now we know how to read individually a dasha and the end of the dasha. Okay.
Right.
And I was very cheeky. You see, I had those charts I chose were very specifically chosen, because in those charts, the moon was placed in such a way that I knew I would get away with using regular, normal, everybody knows by the book Vimshottari. And what I have to do now is start elaborating on that, hey, there is a world out there of Vimshottari that you are not aware of yet. Okay? And I'm taking the same Jataka Parijata and bringing this to fore. So I think it's appropriate I show you the slides of how we do so. And here we are. And very appropriately, the top it says, the title, More Jataka Parijata. Okay?
Yes.
Vaidyanath Dikshita, the author of Jataka Parijata, comes from a very, very illustrious tradition, which is, we believe, in the Andhra area. Okay?
Right.
We believe it originates from there.
Okay.
And this, the knowledge that they have had and kept there in this region is so fruitful that we from the Orissa tradition really we really ravish in going through these shlokas, because there's so much depth here that we use in chart analysis and also to understand things like dasha. Okay. And so what Jataka Parijata speaks of, just following the same shloka I mentioned earlier, that I started off with in our previous section on Dasha Chidra or Dasha Sandhi, or it calls it Dasha Avasana. All right. So here he says right after that there are few more Dasha options. He says from the Janmarkshat, that means from the Janmarksha, from the Janma Nakshatra, that means where the moon's Nakshatra is. All right.
Right.
Paratastu Panchama Bhava Atotpana Sangya Dasha. All right. So what is he saying? The Panchama, and he says Bhava. All right. Panchama Bhava. But here we have to be careful. What is fifth house here? You'll say fifth house is so and so many degrees away. There's first to fifth, and we have 12 houses. But he's saying from the Janmarksha. Janmarksha here is actually referring to the nakshatra of the moon. So he's not referring to fifth house. He's referring to fifth nakshatra, as if we have a 27 house system starting from the moon.
Right. Right.
This is such a deep shloka that is meant to help people think that there's a whole different way of reading charts based on a 27 house system.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And this Panchama Bhava is referring to he says, Panchama Bhava Ata Utpana Sangya. Ata Utpana Sangya. That's what he's saying. So in that fifth nakshatra from the moon, there is a Utpana Dasha starting from.
Okay.
Utpana. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So what does that mean? Take your moon, find the fifth nakshatra from it. So if you're born with moon in Ashwini, that means the fifth one will be Mrigashira. Okay? And from there, you can calculate your Vimshottari Dasha. So those who are not familiar with Vimshottari Dasha's calculation, it always starts from the moon's nakshatra itself.
Right. Right.
So if your moon is in Ashwini, your first Dasha will be of the Lord of Ashwini, which is Ketu. The next one will be Venus, because Venus lords the next nakshatra, Bharani, and so on. But here he's saying that if your moon is in Ashwini, then you could have that your first Dasha is that of Mars, because the fifth nakshatra from Ashwini is Mrigashira, lorded by Mars.
Right.
And then from there, you will have Mars as the first dasha, Rahu as the second dasha, Jupiter as the third dasha, and so on, covering 9 dashas, starting from there instead. All right? You're gonna, people asking, why, Visti, why should I do this? Okay, I know, bear with me. I'll show you why, but I need to tell you that these exist. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's one of them which is called Utpana, and we say it is the 5th nakshatra. All right?
Right.
And then we have another one which is called Syad Adana Dasha. All right? Now this one is the what we call the 8th nakshatra.
Yes.
Adana is the 8th nakshatra. When you read and you learn which are the names of the different nakshatras, then you learn there's one which is called the 8th nakshatra, and its name is Adana. And he also says over here, it is the Ashtama Bhava. Okay? Ashtama Bhava over here. All right? It says over there. I should be pointing to the Sanskrit, right? Syad Adana Dasha Api. That's what it says there. And then he says over here, Api Ato Ashtama Bhava. All right? Okay. And so that is another option, which is starting instead of the 5th, we start from the 8th instead. And the name of it is called Adana Dasha. Okay? Yeah. What does that mean? The first one is called Janma Dasha.
Right.
If you start from the moon's nakshatra, it's called Janma Dasha. If you start from the 5th one, it is called Utpana Dasha. If you start from the 8th one, it is called Adana Dasha. And then he says that there's also one which is called Kshema. All right? And I didn't exactly catch where he mentioned the number, but everybody knows that and it also said it is famous for being known that, Kyaya, right? It is famous for being known as the Kshema Dasha, which is what we know as being the 4th one. Okay? Everybody knows that the 4th Tara from the moon is called Kshema Tara. And so there's an option of calculating the dashas from that 4th. So what do? I'm supposed to say, take the degree of the moon inside the nakshatra, not inside the sign, but the nakshatra. Okay.
Right.
You could even, somebody who's technical will say the percentage of the nakshatra covered in the moon's nakshatra will also apply to all the other nakshatras, like a cusp, a nakshatra cusp.
Right.
Okay. And from that cusp in the particular nakshatra you want to calculate the dasha from, start your dasha calculation.
Right.
Now, if you have a good software, they are very nice ones. Sri Jyoti Star is what I use. Jagannath Hora is also very solid in this. You can simply choose under the dasha options, I want to calculate this from another star, another nakshatra. You can even calculate from different planets in these softwares. But then you will choose, I want to calculate from Utpana, from Kshema, from Adana, or plain all right moon and moon's Janma nakshatra, right? And then you will get 4 different dashas, obviously. 4, I'm putting 5 here, but that's because I'm going to show you a 5th one in a minute, right? So 4 different ways of calculating the same Vimshottari Dasha. Okay? The same one, just from different starting points. Who is to say that you are like everybody else in this planet born on the same day and will have your dasha starting from your Janma Nakshatra? Why are you like that? All right. What does it mean that you're from Janma Nakshatra?
Yeah.
From first house. You are first house. Me and my, I'm so important. But some people will say, me and my is not the most important thing for me. Okay. All right. Somebody will say, no. For me, it is important that we talk about the whole world and how the whole world is and how everybody can become more spiritual. Acha. So you are like, you are not in this planet. You are already ready for moksha, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. That means you must be somebody who likes Adana Dasha very much.
Yes. The 8th house.
Okay. Your moon is in 8th house?
No. I'm just saying, no. My moon is not in the 8th house.
No, right? Okay. I was just asking. So no, but somebody else, yes. Somebody who is Adana. Adana means you're still stuck in your conception. You have not been born yet.
Yes.
Adana is conception time, right? You're conceived.
Yeah.
That, what does it also imply? If you are still stuck in your conception, that means conception is the first entry into this planet, right?
Right.
You're born, but you're already in the mother's womb at conception. So some people are still stuck in that place that was the entering the planet place.
Yeah, so they're not grown up, they've not matured or not completed what they've come to
We should not speak negatively of them. They are still in their mind and their attitude and their focus is more with God.
More with God. Okay.
More with God. Because
Yeah.
that's what happens. At the time of Adana, you're going from God to enter the womb.
Material
Right?
world. Yes.
Exactly. So these people are still with God in their mind. So you have to have a dasha which depicts that they think like this.
Right.
Because their whole view of life will be based on this. Okay. How their dashas are, how close am I to God? How far away am I from God? How close am I to God? How far away am I from God? All right.
Okay.
These people are usually having a bit of trouble in their life. Usually.
Yeah. I understand why you're saying that.
From others. They need saving from others. You said they're a bit like babies. I'm not going to say that. No. I will say their minds are a bit elsewhere, and they often are needing to be taken care of and helped further, like a child which is in the womb. All right? Okay? But they are very divine people.
Can I just extend on what you're saying, just Vishti? Is it something, or rather put in a question here, is it something that, there's so much attached to divinity that the material world, to survive in the material world, they need assistance because they consider everybody their own, that anybody can cheat them. So they need an assistance.
You could say that. That depends on the individual chart. I will not say that they're naive, but you have the right idea. You have the right idea. Okay? Because we have other combinations for when a person is cheated or not, right?
Right.
And sometimes these people go out and cheat others. Why? Because the ideal is they want to sort of live a different, somehow out of society. Okay? So you can get all sorts of different mixtures of people in this, but the general idea is these people are as if they have not fully entered society. Okay? Janma Vimshottari, moon's nakshatra, they have entered. Okay? All right. Yes. Then Adana, they have still not entered. All right? And then we have this Utpanna. Oh, the special ones. Okay? Why are they so special? The problem solvers of the zodiac. Okay? Fifth star. They are the ones who are creating things all the time. Fifth is like children, right? Always, what is children? You're creating them. There's your next generation. These people feel as if they have not lived their day if they have not created something in the day. Okay? I must create something. I must have a product. I must have made something. Did I write something on the blog today? Did I write something in my book today? Did I study these shlokas? They have achievement complexes. All right?
Okay.
They are also great problem solvers, like I mentioned earlier. So Adana is best suited with this Utpanna, by the way. These two are very good together. Okay? Yeah. So we have to figure out who is good for who in a minute. And the fourth is the Kshema. I'll elaborate on them in a minute. So to depict this, I have, there's another shloka. And this is more for, because some people will ask, how do we know that these dashas are problematic? So this is the next shloka after the previous. And it says here, I'll just give the translation. If these dasha end at the same time, they will cause death. Hello, what happened? Wait a minute. Which dashas? The 3 dashas.
Yeah.
Let me go back. You are supposed to draw all 3. He doesn't even mention the Janmanak dasha. He says, draw the 5th one called Utpanna, the 8th one called Adana, and the 4th one called Kshema. Draw all 3 for a person's chart. Next step. If these dasha end at the same time, they will cause death, is his statement.
Right.
I have some examples where the person didn't die. Okay? But it will certainly cause difficulties. Okay? Certainly there'll be difficulties. And then he adds, Vaidyanath Dikshita, in case of people endowed with short, long, or middle lives, the demise is in the 3rd, 7th, or 5th dasha, respectively. Okay. I'm not going to show how to depict death with this method. And also, there will be a big question in that. Does everybody die in their 3rd, 7th, or 5th dasha? They don't. right?
Yeah, that's happy. That's happy. So we need not be afraid.
We are using our brains, and we know this doesn't always happen. But is this always third or fifth, seventh or fifth dasha, or does he mean something else? Okay. Obviously, not everybody dies in the third, seventh, or fifth dasha, but maybe there's a way of knowing the third, seventh, and fifth nakshatras from a different point other than the moon.
Okay. So we're going into something a very different tangent.
And then we're talking about maybe the third from this other point is the second dasha of life, or the third from this other point is the last dasha of life, and ninth dasha. So that third point could be another dasha counted, right? So there's a topic there. Okay, there's a topic there to be studied. All right. Now let me go on, but I won't talk about this longevity principle, but it's very interesting. So I have taken these three dashas and shown them on screen and marked their coincidence for the chart of John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah. And for this example, I thought I could take multiple examples, but this example was so elaborate, I decided to go in big detail with his example.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Before I show how these dashas work individually, I wanted to show how we use the principle of Vaidyanath Dikshita, what he means, okay? So what we do is this is Kshema Vimshottari. See, it looks like Vimshottari, right? But it is just started from the Kshema Tara, okay?
So that means the fourth from the moon.
Yes, fourth one. So this was Mars. So I'm guessing here, his moon must be in, that means, so this is Leo, so this will be in Purva Falguni Nakshatra. Because the fourth, let me see, Venus, Sun, Moon, Mars. Mars will be the fourth one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that means that he has Moon in Purva Falguni, and it is calculated the fourth therefrom is Chitra, and Chitra is loaded by Mars, and therefore the dashas go on like this. Okay. Yeah. And then there's Utpana. Well, this is the fifth one, fifth nakshatra. So after the fourth one was Mars, and the fifth is Rahu. So appropriately, it is depicted like this. Okay. And Adana was the eighth one. We'll do the same numbers, and we'll get Mercury as the first dasha, and we calculate them as follows. And then we compare all three. All three.
Yeah.
And if two out of the three have dashas coinciding, this is the principle. They don't all three have to coincide. But if two out of the three coincide, then it shows a setback.
Right.
Now, the first thing somebody will ask is, does this mean I can calculate when John F. Kennedy was supposed to die? And then I'll say, I think he died in 63. He was assassinated. And only one of the dashas was occurring in 63. None of the others were. Okay? So it didn't work for that. All right? It didn't work for that principle. But that's okay. All right? That's okay. It doesn't have to work because maybe he was destined to be killed by assassination. Maybe that was his Nitya Ayush. All right? Everybody has to die in some way. All right? We cannot say that everybody who is lying in their bed is having a normal death. Okay? Maybe his destiny was he was supposed to live a certain length of time and he was supposed to die by gunshot. That was his destiny. Okay? It was not apamrityu, I can now say from here. See that? I can say that from here. It was none of them coincided. It is not apamrityu.
Right.
Somebody will say, but Visti, maybe it was because this dasha boundary is there. So we'll discuss that later. Okay? Now, but I wanted to show what is the principle. The principle is you do take and compare and you see, oh, right, I found 2 out of 3 in 1920. See that?
Yes.
So what happened in 1920? He had scarlet fever, very dangerous.
Right.
Very, very dangerous. He almost died. Okay? Then I found another comparison. In 1936, Kshema and Utpana were coinciding, and he had a gastrointestinal disease. They were not clear on how close he was to death at that time, but it was serious.
Right.
Okay, he had to go to hospital.
Right.
And then in 1952, notice it's not the same year, right? One is 53, one is 52. But what you do is but it's within the same year. See, if I count here 52 July, so I'll count from 52 July till 53 July.
Yeah.
So is this between that span? Yes.
Yes.
It's in February, so that's before July. So these two are also coinciding. So you have to find when they coincide within a year span. Okay?
Right.
And then I found, well, in 53, he was having a lot of back problems. And in 54, he had a near-death incident after a spine surgery due to an infection. It was very, very close to this time. Okay? So it's close. Now, it won't always be exact. Never. But it'll be very close. Even when these two dashas, when you find 2 out of 3, like this one, was within 2 months from each other, even when they coincide within the same day, the event may not happen exactly in that same day. It may not. It
may not happen.
It may not happen exactly the same day. No. It can still be within a certain period of a time after. This is what I've noticed. But maximum a year after, not more than that. Okay?
But this, can I ask you a question here, please? Can it just set in? Can that happening of the event set in during at that day or during that period?
It can, but we will not decide that from this method of comparison.
Okay.
Yeah. This is supposed to give you the hint that I have to check this. All right? I have to look at this and see what's up. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now we have found out what is the method, right? And we have also said, okay, his assassination was not because of this method of comparison. No problem. You won't get everything from here. You will get some very important points. Yes. And then we go one step further and say, let's take the same chart and let's just try to understand his scarlet fever now. Okay? Just the scarlet fever. And so we see here, the scarlet fever was happening. Now, although you see the comparison, it's for the beginning of this dasha, right? That the scarlet fever happened. But actually, the problem is coming because Rahu is ending in 1920 and Mercury is ending in 1920.
Right.
So I'm not examining these two, Ketu and Jupiter. I'm actually examining Rahu and Mercury.
Right.
All right? That's what my focus is.
Right.
Now, the question is, who's the culprit? Right? Who is the culprit? Is it Rahu or is it Mercury? And so this is where I had to do some research. And I admit this is my research. All right? So if anybody asks, is this tradition? I didn't hear it from my teacher. Okay? So now, so I found here, if I compare Rahu and Mercury, right, in the chart, then I say Rahu won't give fever, but Mercury joined Mars in 8 will definitely give dangerous fever.
Yes. Yes.
So who's won? Mercury won. What is the difference between these two? Mercury was ending first. Mercury ended in February and Rahu ended in April. So conclusion, maybe the first among these is the problem.
Right.
Interesting?
Very.
Right?
Very.
Maybe it's that reason. Okay, maybe. So this is what I concluded. Maybe this is how we can depict the difference. So let's see the next chart. So this is another time he had a problem. This was around the time of his, what is this? The gastrointestinal disease. Okay? So it is Saturn and Jupiter starting, but I'm interested in Rahu and Jupiter ending.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So if I now compare these, I see that Rahu ended in July and Jupiter ended in April. So Jupiter could be the culprit?
Yes.
Okay, could be the one. So if you look at this chart, Jupiter is doing what? At first glance, you won't notice what's the problem here. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. It won't make sense. But I will say Jupiter is not combust. People will ask, is Jupiter combust? Maybe that's the problem. And then I'll say, well, firstly, if Jupiter is in any way afflicted, the person will usually suffer from some gastric issue, by the way.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. Gastric issues are very common for Jupiter. And secondly, what you don't see here is that Jupiter's in Sandhi, 0 degrees. Exactly. All right?
Right.
Now, prediction. If a planet is lording the 5th from the Lagna or 5th from the moon, one of the two, the person will suffer from Udara dosha, Udara roga. Okay? So what is gastrointestinal disease? It is Udara roga. Okay? Yeah. Disease of the stomach. Now his Jupiter is the 5th lord from the moon.
Right.
Somebody will say, oh, but Visti, Rahu is in the 5th from moon. Could Rahu sort of done it? I will not say no to that. Okay. But I do see it works with Jupiter.
Right.
It does work. Okay. So there we go. Somebody will say, but Visti, why should the moon decide our body parts? The Lagna shows our body parts from the beginning of life, from birth. The moon shows how these body parts and the whole, what we call blood flow is working as we grow older. All right. And, when I say older, it means from birth itself, our maintenance of the body is being decided by the moon, but our genetic inheritance is from the Lagna.
Okay.
Okay. So I will say, so if this gastrointestinal issue happened because of the Jupiter, it is because the body is not maintaining his good health. Okay.
Okay.
And if I had to decide, does he have issues with his stomach from birth? I would say the 5th from Lagna is loaded by Saturn. Saturn is in the 11th in Cancer. This is pretty good. He definitely was not born with a problem in his stomach. This has come up with time. Okay. 5th lord from moon.
So it's
Slight
maintenance
difference.
issues. Maintenance issues. You've not
Maintenance issue is exactly the problem. That's right. You got it. Okay. Now, the last event for him. So same chart, last event. So around 54, he had the spine issue. Now, he had a lot of spine pains and spine problems and back problems throughout his life. Very, very heavy problems. Okay. And so, so where do we see spine? Where do we see back? So according to Maharishi Jaimini, I'm using Jaimini here. Jaimini is beautiful in this matter. He gives us a lot of good information. He says, look at the 7th house for the spine. All right. And he says, see either Lagna or Moon 7th house. Okay. And I know there are other views on this, but I will tell you straight. When I use Jaimini, it is flawless. Okay. It's so easy. And then you see here, his 7th from Moon. Maybe you think it happened with time, right? 7th from Moon, loaded by Saturn or Rahu. Aquarius is here. Saturn is well placed, I thought. Rahu, maybe he's badly placed, but he doesn't have any control over our body, right? He causes issues in the mind. Yes? He doesn't have a body. If I take Lagna, then Jupiter is the 7th lord. Hello, we remember that Jupiter, don't we?
Yes.
And he was in Sandhi, right? So maybe this issue is from a very early age. Genetically, he has a bad back. It's true. From a very early age, he had back problems. Okay. Now, then we compare. Around this time I'm looking at and examining, it was Saturn Dasha starting or Moon Dasha starting. But it Jupiter ending and Sun ending. And these are my ones that I'm concerned with. Okay. Jupiter ended in July 52 and Sun ended in February 53. So Jupiter ended first.
Yes.
Guess what? We were looking at Jupiter, weren't we? Perfect fit. All right.
Yes.
So this a little bit of research that I'm presenting here, I hope people will take forward. I use this. This is my observation. And we can also see that it helps us when we line up the dashas like this to identify what is the exact problem. And what is the peculiarity of this method? I'm using 3 dashas at the same time. Not one. So this is warm up. Okay? Warm up for using multiple dashas. Where you see the value in seeing multiple dashas, compare their ending dates, and this is taking us to another depth of Dasha Chidra. The next depth of Dasha Chidra.
Okay.
Okay? Because what is this? This is the ending of Dasha.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. And we're using the classics as our reference to know what to do about this ending of Dasha.
Right. So I'll wind it up once you stop sharing this screen. So we come to the end of the second section of Dasha Chidra, and here Visti shows us how he's taken 3 different modulations of the Vimshottari Dasha itself, counting from the 4th star, from the birth moon, the 5th star, and the 8th star. We find out the Dasha Chidras then and see if they are in correlation. Even if 2 Dasha Chidras are in correlation, it could create problems, health issues. And if the 3 of them are in correlation, God willing not, it could be meaning the end of somebody's existence on this planet. So this is the way. And again, remedies before we wind up. Vishti, does Mahamrityunjay or Mrityunjay, does it act as a boom over here also?
Of course. Because Mrityunjaya was meant to deal with especially things like Apamrityu Yoga and such topics. So this is very appropriate for also this. For the entire selection of difficulties which arise from the Dasha Chidra, Mrityunjaya is the best panacea. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
the best remedy.
So this is Mrityunjay is one. It's the Sanjeevani in literal terms, because Sanjeevani, as Vishti has explained to us, is different mantra altogether, but it is the one pill for all remedies for us to adhere to. With this note, we end this section here. Please keep watching for the next section till we come back and meet you again. Thank you so much, Vishti.